Well, the Undertale Summer Newsletter just dropped, so you know I've gotta cover it. There was actually a decent amount in this newsletter, including a pretty massive Undertale and Deltarune lore drop. But first, let's just get right into what you're really here for, progress on Deltarune Chapters 3, 4, and 5. Toby explains that the team is still mainly focused on Chapter 3, but they are starting to create the final overworld area of the chapter, like the Card Castle or Queen's Mansion type of final area. He also mentions that there has been a little bit of work on Chapters 4 and 5, but they aren't the main focus right now, and it's mainly been stuff like puzzles and bullet patterns. Basically, it seems like Chapter 3 is almost complete, but 4 and 5 aren't super far in development yet, and it sounds like they're both less than halfway done. As always, remember that the next few chapters will be done when they're done. Have some patience and don't rush Toby and his team. The second part of this newsletter talks about a scrapped Undertale cutscene, where if you speedrun the game and got to the Judgment Hall fast enough, Sans would be eating an ice cream since he couldn't finish by the time you got there. It would be a bit more of a troll cutscene though, since Sans would take a full minute to finish eating his nice cream, which would obviously be very frustrating when you're trying to beat the game as quick as possible. Next up is Toby explaining how he made a song for a rhythm game, but it ended up getting rejected since it wasn't what they expected the song to be like. He explains that he can make pretty good music when it's for a specific character or scene in a game that he can connect to, but when he has no direction he struggles a bit more, so he envisioned a song about a factory where dogs get hit in the head by squeaky hammers. Honestly, seems like it would be a perfect rhythm game level, and while the song is extremely goofy in the first 10 seconds, I actually really like how it sounds afterwards. Very briefly, Toby talks about The Greatest Living Show, a music video that Toby worked on which is honestly pretty great. It's a bit graphic, so I wouldn't recommend it to younger viewers, but for anybody interested, it'll be down in the description below. Next, he briefly talks about his cameo in the show We Baby Bears, which if you want to hear it, here's a quick clip.
Oh, sorry about that. I just get nervous easily. You see, I just fell off the ship.
You mean that ship?
He also mentions how he did the voice for Queen and Task Manager in the same segment, which I don't think I knew, and I'll never be able to hear the same way ever again now. And now it's time for that pretty big lore drop I mentioned at the beginning, the Papyrus interview. Most of it is pretty funny dialogue from Papyrus with Sans interjecting now and again, but the real juicy stuff is the very last question. The last question is, what was your life before you moved into Snowdin? And Papyrus's answer is very strange. He thinks for a moment and starts to describe it as a place with green grass before Sans cuts him off and ends the interview. This is strange because we know Sans and Papyrus just kind of popped out of nowhere into Snowdin, and we also know that there isn't really any green grass in the entire underground, with there only being tiny patches of grass at the beginning and ending of the game. This is extremely strong evidence for, and might even just outright confirm the theory that Sans and Papyrus are not from the underground, and might originally be from Deltarune's universe instead. Papyrus also seems like he can't really remember it that well, like it's a foggy and distant memory for some reason. Maybe if there is some weird universe hopping stuff going on and he isn't supposed to remember his time before Snowdin, that could explain it. Either way, the fact that it's the very last question and Sans cuts him off right before he can say anything else means that it's probably really important. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments though, since I'm really curious about what the community thinks. Lastly, Toby Fox puts a meme for a Sans duplication glitch, which refers to the Sans Nendoroids being in stock at Fangamer. But that's it! Hopefully this was a quick but detailed summary of the whole newsletter, so if you enjoyed it then please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.